I think there's a single hidden Joe Biden voter in this country. I think there are millions of hidden Trump voters in this country.
Do reports about Trump napping in court mean he lacks the stamina to be president?
The latest disclosures from Bill Maher and Jimmy Kimmel have once again shed light on the true power dynamics in President Trump's administration. Trump's personal advisor, Kellyanne Conway, attempted to defend him against the criticism during her appearance on Bill Maher's show, but Maher quickly shredded Trump's public image.
Do reports about Trump napping in court mean he lacks the stamina to be president again?
The media who covers him never thinks that their job is to get the story. They think their job is to get Trump. We've been living with this for 10 straight.
The previous president's unwillingness to accept defeat and his propensity to assign blame to others made for an interesting discussion. This attitude reached its peak when Trump urged a gang to damage the Capitol building and claimed there was widespread vote fraud in the 2020 election.
As you know, I've come here from New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial, all done by...
One of Trump's more enduring post-presidential traits has been his unwavering determination to challenge the results of the 2024 presidential election. He has worked tirelessly to undermine public trust in the democratic process since his defeat in the 2020 election, which has spurred his obsession with subverting the electorate's will, and the notion that the system is biased against him have only gotten stronger since he can't seem to accept that he lost. For instance, his actions and words regularly indicate a concerning disconnection from reality. Trump appears to be operating under the illusion that only he is qualified to judge whether an election is fair, with a victory confirming its legitimacy and a defeat being written off as fraud. The very underpinnings of American democracy are seriously threatened if this toxic worldview is permitted to continue. His unwavering declaration of triumph in areas he obviously lost raises the possibility of mental illness or a willful ignorance of the truth. As President Biden accurately pointed out, Trump's unwavering focus on winning at all costs is antagonistic to the core values of patriotism. One cannot claim to really love their nation if they are willing to destroy its democratic institutions in order to achieve their own political goals. The consequences of Trump's rejection of the 2020 election results have cast a shadow over the electoral landscape as the nation prepares for the 2024 election, spreading doubt and division among the people. There are mounting concerns that an unprecedented constitutional crisis may arise as a result of Trump's unrelenting commitment to challenge the results, regardless of the will of the people. The current state of affairs highlights the pressing need to uphold democratic norms and institutions, with the peaceful transfer of power serving as a sacred ideal that preserves the integrity of the American political system, rather than merely being a formality. The stakes have never been higher for the Republican Party, whose existence is at risk because of Trump's unbridled ambition and disdain for the rule of law.
Stormy could testify about her sexual relationship with Trump, but also said we don't need to know the details. And see, now that's where I have to object.
We need Trump back to make our country great again. Our country, if we get Biden back in there, it's total.
Despite the fact that non-citizens are not allowed to vote, the concern over immigration and election manipulation seems to be a ploy by Trump to further his personal agenda, which sows fear and deflects attention from the real issue. Trump's narcissism Conway is skilled at persuasion, but her devious methods cannot equal Trump's. Conway's attempts to justify Trump's unwillingness to concede the 2020 election by citing their acknowledgement of the 2016 outcome as evidence of their dedication to democracy only serve to accentuate Trump's narcissism. It's been appropriate to characterize Trump as a textbook narcissist who craves recognition and affection. Both she and Trump have been ridiculed by comedians and late-night shows for their tendency to say ridiculous things, but Maher's harsh criticism of Trump and Conway serves as a warning about the potential consequences of a narcissistic breakdown. President Trump has made an astonishing 30,000 false or misleading statements in his 4 years in office, highlighting his clear propensity for dishonesty. This ongoing dishonesty reveals a concerning lack of integrity, in addition to his history of disparaging remarks and personal jabs, presents a completely different picture of his genuine character than the claims made by supporters such as Kellyanne Conway, who claims he is a man of high moral character. His unrelenting attacks on political rivals reveal a tendency to dehumanize and minimize others in order to further his own goals.
Look at the polls. People think Joe Biden is not up to the job, whether it's confidence in his competence or just the sheer energy to move from point A to point B. I think it's weird.
You couldn't find it. There's nobody like that. The look, the brain, the whole thing. We had a great...
Conway, a close ally of Trump's, was reluctant to acknowledge the truth that his political actions had revealed about him. Recently, something unexpected happened during his court appearance. Trump made the moment famous in the courtroom when he gasped out, causing everyone to laugh heartily. Entertainer Jimmy Kimmel used the occasion to poke fun at the circumstances by advising Trump to eat more veggies in order to prevent similar incidents. The amusing episode swiftly took center stage, overshadowing other events and causing chuckles despite the usually solemn environment. Speculating that Trump might have been making a message with his gasoline, Kimmel made viewers wonder what additional stunts the former president will conduct in the future. Rumors. But throughout the proceedings, the legal team has employed a number of strategies to keep Trump alert. His lawyer no longer even sits next to him during sidebar conversations, fearing he would accidentally nod off because his tendency to nod off in court has become so well known.
Never had an affair with Trump. I questioned whether she actually signed the letter because the signature looked suspect and sort of implied that she hadn't.
A video of Trump looking absolutely just as senile and doing crazy senile. And of course, Joe Biden is not actually crazy. Your guy is actually crazy.
Business executives that have a big idea anticipate a profitable opportunity shortly. It's possible that Trump-branded health pills and energy drinks will appear on store shelves. Who knows? Maybe one day Starbucks will sell coffee with the Trump logo on it. Ultimately, why not enter the coffee sector if he can effectively sell Bibles and stains? Still, Trump's odd sleeping habits have made him known as a sleepy farty. Don referred to his friend Jimmy as stuck like glue, which appears to have revealed Jimmy's eating habits. Trump is convinced that being vegan for a month will destroy his taste buds, but we all know that underneath his obstinacy is a deep-seated fondness for meaty, oily meals. If he were to occasionally forego a Big Mac in favor of a salad, his burping in court might not be as loud as a rock concert. One of his associates revealed that Trump's diet is as well-balanced as a person on a rigorous RPP, with the exception of his love of golf.
Here's case death.
Oh, you're doing death as a proportion of cases. I'm talking about death as a proportion of population. That's where the US is really bad.
Many people who voted for Biden but have lost interest in him. You know, staying awake seems like a kind of a baseline requirement for Trump. You want to project a little bit bigger.
Unquestionably, former U.S. President Donald Trump has an odd affection for this culinary. The public finds the president's eccentricity both humorous and confusing. We're all left scratching our brains at the image of him burying his steak with little ketchup bottles, which has come to symbolize his unusual eating habits. But Trump's fixation on May Delight doesn't stop there. According to rumors, he eats the dish twice a day, sometimes even more than once, as if it were becoming obsolete. The former president appears to have discovered the fountain of youth in the form of a succulent, well-cooked steak, but his culinary exploits take a turn for the worse when he travels abroad, a choice that has many people worldwide scratching their heads. It's reasonable to say that Trump's dietary preferences have turned into a worldwide joke. With his love of steak and his ketchup-sodden eating habits, the target of innumerable memes and jokes. Even in countries like India, where beef isn't exactly a mainstay on McDonald's menu, the former president has been known to pick steaks over the renowned cheeseburger. People are struggling to understand the reasoning behind this obviously tone-deaf choice, resulting in a generalized state of perplexity. The world laughs and shakes its head at the former president's continuous indulgence in his odd eating habits, leaving us all to wonder what's next on his menu of shame.
Evidence at the criminal trial for a president of the United States. Johnny Carson didn't get that with Nixon. We got it here.
The reason that he's winning, and thank you for not taking it to the next step, because I know you don't, but many do, Bill, who don't like Trump and don't want him to be the president, which is to castigate and denigrate the millions of people.
Given his well-known penchant for making public gaffes, it's really surprising that we're even thinking about considering Trump for president once more. Is it really appropriate for someone who struggles to maintain composure in court to be in charge of the entire nation? Biden, on the other hand, seems like the kind of leader you'd be happy to trust with your neighbor's cherished pet, let alone the future of the country. He emanates decency and responsibility. Let's pause to recognize some of Biden's achievements. This man has been working non-stop, handling economic and epidemic issues with the skill of juggling. Biden didn't miss a beat when COVID-19 struck like a wrecking ball, taking charge and enacting mask legislation to protect everyone. Nor should we minimize his contributions to the economic recovery. He works like he's playing a real-life Sim City, finishing chores at a dizzying pace and nailing every step along the way.